How are you today, Nils?
Yeah, not bad, dude. How about you?
I'm doing well, Nils. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So, Nils, Icarus, your album is scheduled to be released on September 24th. So, can you tell me a bit about the songwriting and the production behind this album?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right. September 24th, we're coming out with the album. And about the songwriting, it was a process. The lyrics are pretty dark in general. It was a little gloomy. We wrote this album during the height of the pandemic, of the whole COVID situation, and we found ourselves that we were just sitting at home drinking most of the time, and really everybody in their own house, not being able to get together to hang out and to play gigs, nothing, right? We're just sitting at home drinking, and we said at one point, man, we should either start writing or we should just do nothing. And we said, let's make the best that we can out of this. And we started writing lyrics, and that's how the whole songs took shape. And it's a process, you know. After that, we met up with this guy out of LA called Drew Lawrence, and he helped us give some shape and create the demos and so on. But it's been quite the process, and happy to get into it if you'd like. But yeah, the lyrics themselves and the writing process came from essentially a little bit of a dark place. Yeah.
Sounds good, Nils. And is there any particular concept that you put behind, or is it general thing?
It was just general because, you know, the way the writing started is everybody would write on their own initially. Like the way I write is I'll sit down with a bottle of whiskey and I'll just start writing lyrics, and then I add the music on later. Noelle, our drummer, she's the same way. She just writes things that are in her head, and her stuff is, mine is more on dark, a little bit somber imagery. Her things, mine are emotional. Her things are a little bit more from life experiences she's had, which are also quite intense. And then she adds the music later onto. Jerry, on the other hand, our singer, he's more of writing some music first and then adding lyrics to it. And the same as Lohan, our guitar player, he's the same style. He will write a riff first and then maybe he'll add some lyrics. But yeah, so everybody has a little bit of a different process, but it all comes together. And once we have, you know, the basics, lyrics written out and everything, we'll piece them all together as a group. So that's a little bit of our process.
Sounds good. And talking about the cover art of the album is something amazing for an album, for a rock album to have. So can you tell me a bit of details about the cover art?
Yeah, no, I love that. We worked with an artist, I believe she's out of Finland, if I'm not mistaken, and she's just fantastic on we kind of gave her a vision. I said, look, I want imagery that is a little bit, you know, again, that goes along with the lyrics. It's a little bit shocking. It's a little bit dark, you know, without going overboard. And but at the same time, I want to keep it like with illustration and drawings and things like that. And, you know, she sent us a few samples and we went this way, that way. But yeah, the end product I think is really cool. And, you know, total coincidence is that it kind of looks a little bit like the Iron Maiden stuff, you know? And I mean, it wasn't by design by any means. When we finished, somebody mentioned, hey man, it's kind of Iron Maiden style. I'm like, oh, that's great. Yeah. So it kind of worked out. And our music isn't necessarily like Iron Maiden, right? But I mean, that's a great band to be compared to, at least on our artistry, you know, our covers.
Yeah. Sounds good. And the first release you gave, Tattooed, you worked along with Richard, guitarist of Guns N' Roses. So how did this collaboration happen, and how did you guys meet and made this thing work out?
Yeah, well, we have a mutual friend in common who's Mike Squires, and Mike Squires also collaborated with us in another song that's coming out in the record called Past the Deceased, and also Jeff Rouse collaborated, and I'll mention who they are in a second. I'll give you some background on them, but he's very close with all the guys from GNR, and he pretty much knows everybody. And we showed him what we were doing, and he kind of liked our stuff. And he said, hey, man, we're thinking of, you know, getting a collab. And he's like, hey, these are some people that he gave us a list of people that could potentially work out, that he was super close with, that could entertain, you know, doing a collab. And on that list, and the name was Richard Fortas. So we said, oh, man, you know, GNR is probably our biggest influence as a whole as a band. So it'd be a dream for us, you know, it'd be incredible if we were able to work with somebody like Richard, who's a virtuoso, you know. And he connected us with Richard, and Richard heard our stuff, and, you know, we went back and forth a little bit to see what we wanted and so on, like what we were looking for. And the guy's such a friendly guy, such a generous guy. He agreed, yeah, and he collabed, and he sent in his parts and worked with our sound engineer, and we pieced it all together. But yeah, what he provided us with was 10 times more than we could ever expect it. And he even told us at one point when he sent it in, he's like, "Hey guys, is there anything you want to change? Anything you don't like?" And we're thinking, yeah, we'll check it out and we'll let you know, maybe a couple of changes. And then we heard it one time and we're like, holy shit, man, this thing's incredible. Like, nothing needs to be changed, So yeah, man, collaborating with Richard was fantastic for sure. Such a great experience.
That's great. So, and also you have brought in Dean as the video director for this song. So Dean is someone so amazing who makes amazing videos. How did this thing work
Yeah,
out?
man. And a lot of this could be also in part because, they like their stuff and they liked who we are and so on and our lyrics and our music. But also it was a lot of it happened through COVID too, when we made initial contact, when a lot of these amazing, talented people were just hanging out at home and not really doing much, even though they were all busy collaborating remotely and so on. But yeah, that kind of helped us a little bit to get, otherwise, we can't, if we went to Richard now and said, hey man, we want to collab, he may do it, but he's super busy with GNR right now, touring around the world, right? So yeah, it kind of helped us. But same thing with Dean. We met Dean through a mutual friend. Actually, if you had a chance, did you have a chance to look at the video?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so you see the girl that kidnaps our drummer?
Yeah.
So the girl that's torturing her, she's a really good friend of our band. I've known her for a while. And she collaborated, she knows Dean very well. They used to date back in the day. And she connected us with Dean. And Dean, again, same thing, checked out our stuff, checked out our music, and said, hey, you know what, this sounds kind of cool. And then he asked us what song you guys want to do. And we're like, you choose. So he went along with Tattooed. And he said, what do you guys want the video to be about? Like, what's it going to be about? And we're like, look, Dean, you worked with Marilyn Manson, Iron Maiden, Velvet Revolver, all these names. And you know what? We'll let you come up with it. We trust your crazy mind. And he came up with this video that you've seen and everything that happens in there and the female to female torture. And yeah, it's been quite shocking. And it's being so well received, and it's such a wonderful work of art. So, no, super, super stoked to have worked with Dean also.
Awesome, Nils. And since the album is getting released on September 24, do you have a release party or some festivities on the release day?
We're just doing release day. I believe there may be an outlet out there that'll pick it up the day before. I need to double check. It slips my mind. But I believe we're just doing a release date. And then we're having on the 25th, we're doing a big party here at one of the local venues, and we're going to have another band open for us, and we're going to have a bunch of friends and family join us and open to the public, and we'll just play the record and throw a few covers in there and just overall have a great time, man. We're super stoked.
Sounds great. And talking about Velvet Chains, you guys are like from two guys from Las Vegas and then one guy from Brazil, one guy from Chile. So how this collaboration happened as a band?
Yeah, man. So it's actually there's two Americans we're all American by now, but there's two Jerry is from the East Coast from Delaware, and Noel is from the East Coast, also from Pennsylvania. I'm from Chile originally in South America, and my our guitar player, he's from Brazil. So I just put an ad on Craigslist here in Vegas saying, hey, looking for musicians. Who wants to join, this band I'm putting together? And I said, influence has got to be, starting with GNR, late 80s. Let's go through Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, 90s. And then let's kind of park ourselves at the early 2000s with like Linkin Park, maybe some Green Day in there. And those are at least my influences. So I was looking to create something like that. And I started getting messages and different musicians. And, we started auditioning, and that's how we ended up with the group of people that we had. Well, there for a moment, we had a guitar player that's from Mexico, but great guitar player, but he ended up having to move out to California, so we kind of lost him. But, we've been together for about 3 years now with the current lineup. And, now you could say, in the future, the lineup may have some changes and so on. There's, we're trying to make a Velvet Chain something that goes into perpetuity, So that's the idea. But look, for now, we're amazing. We get along great, and we have to keep writing together and put out more records.
Sounds great. Sounds great, Niels. And Niels, post-release of the album, do you have any touring lined up for you guys?
We don't have anything right now because of the pandemic. It's a little bit difficult to gauge it. We were offered to open for a pretty mainstream band in 2022 and tour with them. But because of the uncertainty, we kind of said, look, let's wait a little bit and let's try to focus on booking festivals. So that's our mission for 2022, to get on as many festivals as we can and maybe do a small West Coast tour or something. But that's it for now. Once, COVID passes, if it ever passes, we can look into more long-term stuff for sure. Yeah.
Sounds good. And how has the journey been for you so far since the start of Velvet Trains?
How fast the journey has been?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast, man. Even doing things like this, chatting with you, it's super fun, and I really appreciate the opportunity to get our name out there. And we've been well received in multiple countries.
Yeah.
We've had press, at least in 15 different countries, and we look at on the streaming, we look at the people that follow us, and it's from all over the world, and this thing has become so much greater than I could have ever hoped for. And we're just starting, we haven't even released our full debut album, which is coming out in a couple of weeks. So no, it's been a blast, man. It's really enjoying it. It hasn't been easy. It's a long process. It's a lot of we're about to release, but we've had 3 years in the making, and it's been quite a bit, but we've had a lot of fun with it. That's the way to put it.
Sounds great. And talking about the music, like you guys are bringing back the good old days back again, the early 80s hard rock, the 90s grunge, and all the stuff together with your own version of music into it. So how do you feel about bringing something different to the current world?
Yeah, man, I honestly believe that like to get something out there that people like, you got to kind of mix things up a little bit, right? Bring a little bit from the past, add your own. It's like putting together, it's like cooking, I guess. I don't know anything about cooking, man, but it's kind of like, I guess, cooking where you got to kind of imitate a little bit from another chef, and then you bring your own flavor in and you make it modern, And that's what we've been trying to do. We're heavily influenced. If you listen to our music, we're heavily influenced by grunge and alt rock and hard rock, definitely from that era. But at the same time, we'd like to think that our music is very radio friendly. And also, Drew Lawrence out of LA, whom I mentioned, he's worked with a lot of pop and rock artists. So you can see a little bit of an element of pop in our music too, that it gets sticky, it kind of sticks in your head for a couple hours after you listen to it. So I think that's a formula that's worked for us, man. It's not to say that whoever creates the next genre of music, it totally gonna kill it. But it's what's worked for us, and people seem to enjoy it. And at the end of the day, for us, what really matters, man, is that people just love what they're hearing, man. And if people are happy, then we're happy, because we're total crowd pleasers, man. That's what we're in this for, and we want to make people happy with our music. And if they're happy, we're happy, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Nils, what would be the dream for you guys?
Yeah, we all have our own personal dreams and so on. But look, we're already living the dream. Just like some people say we're living the dream, and there's just only upside, man. We have so much to grow and so much to do. I think we're on the right track. We don't have any expectations, man. It's a music industry. We don't think we're going to probably not going to become, the next Metallica or the next GNR, right? But as long as we're moving forward, man, that could be, 1 inch or 10 miles or half across the world. As long as we're moving forward, we're winning, man. So that's what we're in it for.
Sounds great. Sounds great. And Nils, finally, what would be the message that you want to give to the rock fans and your fans around the world?
Yeah. First of all, just gratitude, man. Just so appreciative for them receiving us so well, and really loving connecting with people and meeting people. And just, as we build our following, just we're thankful. And the message is keep rock and roll alive and keep listening and just, keep on keeping on, man. If that makes any sense. We love our fans, and we're just having a blast, and we hope they are too, man.
Awesome, Nils. And Nils, thank you so much for giving me your time today to have this interview. And it was really a pleasure talking to you to know more about the band. And thanks so much for the new album, Icarus, which is going to be released on September 24th. Thank you again for the music.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Really great meeting you, man. And if you ever want to chat again, man, I'm here for you, brother.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Nils. Take care of
All right,
yourself.
dude.
Have a good day.
We'll see you,
Bye-bye.
buddy. Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.